What's up, fellas? I'm back with another video. This video gonna be a little different, y'all, because I want to get into a story time about the time that I was sprung. Yes, it's only happened one time in my life where I was sprung out and I was digmatized. Totally cuckoo, gone for cuckoo puffs or whatever you call it. Like I was, I look back on that and I can't even believe that was me. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you what was going on. All right, so sometimes we can think the grass is greener on the other side. So I was with someone and I wasn't happy in my relationship because he wasn't outgoing. He wasn't one of those people that, was what I thought I needed. Now, let's not take nothing away from him. He was a good guy. You know what I'm saying? Never worried about him really cheating on me, putting his hands on me, disrespecting me. Wherever he said he was, he was. But as far as like going out and doing family things and building, none of that. And I was driving the bus late nights. So at that time I wasn't getting off until 1 a.m. and I was driving in a really, really rough city. It was so bad that most of the female drivers that worked that shift that I worked had their husbands or their boyfriends with them. And I used to ask him to come ride with me, and he wouldn't do it. And then I would have guys on the bus to get on the bus around 10, 11 o'clock. And I'm going through these bad neighborhoods, and sometimes I have to sit at time points. And the time point is when you you have to sit there until the time comes before you can leave. Like you might be at a time point and might say you can't leave until 10:20. You get there at 10:15 or 10:13. You got to sit there to 10:20. If you run that time point, then you'll get in trouble. So I used to ask him to come ride with me. And he didn't. And he didn't. So right then I was just like, he don't care about me because I'm out here at night by myself. And I'm looking at these other men with their wives and their girlfriends. And I'm out here, I'm a thug. I thugged it out. I did it. But it still wasn't cool. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't cool to me. So mind you, I had started at this job and I was doing this. But I had met this guy at this job. He had seen me on the bus and he rolled up on my bus and he was giving me his number and shit, but it wasn't nothing. He was not my type. He was not somebody that I was attracted to. Just wasn't. He was tall, he was skinny, he was not what I was looking for. Trust me. I was into light-skinned dudes back then and all this other stuff, right? So he talked to me or whatever. We kicked it once or twice, but I really wasn't feeling him. Now mind you, I'm not saying that cheating is good because, that's what I did. And ultimately, I did cheat on him, but I ultimately ended that relationship. So, with that being said, he would try to get me to come over to the job that he was at, like at the company he was with. So, with that being said, this guy pursued the hell out of me. Like, he pursued me, but again, I even left where I was working at because I was thinking about changing jobs just because that job that he was at was paying more and you made more money quicker. You could reach top pay at a quicker rate than where I was. I went into that job making more at the job that I was on, and I had already been there for years. So I didn't go over there because of him, because I wasn't really interested in him at that point. And when I came over there, he was still like pursuing me. Like, it was really crazy. I had never been pursued like that. So, and I'm sitting there like, I ain't really interested in him. Even when we was talking for a minute, and he would just basically came out and said, when are you going to give it to me? And I'm just like, who the fuck is you? I'm not giving you anything. He even went out of his way one night and just went and rented a hotel room. And I looked at him. He was like, meet me over here at this hotel room. And I'm like, okay. And we met at the hotel room. And he looking at me and I'm looking at him. And I was like, what did you do that for? Like, what is the hotel room for? Like, you have some audacity, some balls to think that I haven't given you any inkling that I was going to sleep with you. But you done went ahead and rented a whole hotel room. Boy, you bold. So, nothing happened. So he spent his money for nothing. Right. So I'm like, okay, cool. So time went on. He wore me down. And he really, he became my best friend because he was so smart and he could give me advice and tell me shit and tell me, you know what I'm saying? He was from St. Thomas, and, I had never dealt with a dude that was from one of them islands. And, even though he wasn't attracted to me, his personality was attractive to me. But I came to learn that he was psycho, crazy, When I say crazy, I mean crazy. Sometimes in life, when you got good ding ding or you got good cat, and you link up with a motherfucker that has the exact same mentality and the exact same thing, and y'all meet, it could be crazy. I'm telling you, it could be crazy. I'm telling you, if you not ready. And I wasn't ready, because I've always been the dominant one. Like, I'm always the one that, like, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna mess this dude head up, or I'm gonna swallow his shit and make him, his eyes roll in the back of his head and make him go crazy. And I've always done that. I always had dudes looking for me. But when I met him and I met my match, it was a whole nother ball game. Yo, so we finally do the do. We finally do the do. And this man has me completely, I'm talking about shit that the type of stuff that we were doing in and out the bedroom was, I mean, I'm one of those people that is very spontaneous, and it could be anytime, any place. And again, you meet somebody that's your match, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, we was here, we was there. He was picking me up. It was in the car when it was raining, and it was in the summertime, and it was crazy. When I say it was crazy, but it was the most fun. It was the most fun I've ever had dealing with someone. And again, like, even though we did all that, after we did that, you know, we would lay and we would talk, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I just felt like he was my best friend on top of being a great lover, because he was a great lover. Like, he really was. And I'm talking about, I ain't never been with a dude that can go past 30 minutes. His was no less than 30 minutes, no more than an hour. Like, it was a marathon. Do you hear me? And he was one of those, if he get off, he's gonna get it right back up. It's coming right back. And he was hung like it was ridiculous. When I tell you, it's been times that he had me walking sideways and crazy, bruh. But don't get it twisted. He was just as effed up about me as I was about him. I'm telling you. We did some crazy shit, and I'm not proud of it, but again, it's one of them stepping stones and one of them lessons that you learn in life. You know, it took me a long time to get him out my system, because like I said, he was very smart. He was one of those men that he was a protector. He didn't back down. He stood on what he meant. You know what I'm saying? Like, but the only thing that was wrong with him is that he was a pathological liar. He was a womanizer, and he was a bullshitter. But when I gave him that energy back, he didn't know what to do with it. He was used to women just bowing and taking what he gave. If he did something to me, I turn around and did it right back to him. And that's where that toxic shit came in at. You know, if he was talking to somebody else, I start talking to somebody else. If he didn't answer his phone, I didn't answer my phone. You know what I'm saying? Because I always believe in treat those how you want to be treated. If you can do it, I can do it. If you don't want me to do it to you, then don't do it to me. Now, he literally told me, he was like, you know, most men can't handle you because, you know, you just different. And I'm just like, no, a good man can handle me. You came into this situation lying, and that's what he did. He lied about how many kids he had. He lied about if he had a girlfriend. He lied about, you know what I'm saying? He lied about the most simple shit. And you know, us working together, I'm gonna find out. And that's what I asked him. I said, well, why didn't you just be 100 with me? And I'm gonna tell you what this man told me. This man told me, he said, I thought I was just gonna get with you and I was gonna hit it, and you was just, he said, I thought I was just gonna hit it. And he said, I thought I was just going, that's just what it was going to be. He said, but I fucked around and I fell in love with you. And right then I knew I was done with him. Because if he tells me that, you know, I'm a good woman, I'm this, that, and the third, but you still can't get your shit right. And I mean to the point where you is trying to figure out what's going on once I find out that you got a girl or whatever, and you trying to find out what's going on with y'all got going on. And I be like, fine, I'm gonna go do me over here. To the point you're coming to my house at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. You're chasing me down the highway. You're trying to run me off the road. You fucking taking my phone. You know what I'm saying? You threatening, you coming on my job, threatening any dude you see me talking to. And it's like, I was like, this is crazy. I have never been in a situation like this. And every time I try to leave you alone, you come right back. you come right back. And you know what I'm saying? He told me, he said, you know what? You're different. You're a different breed. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not used to that. And I had to realize in that situation that it's not good. It's not someone, it's, even though the sex was immaculate, great, off the fucking hinges, it was it was good now. Don't get me wrong. But it was more, I realized it was a waste of time, because it wasn't going anywhere. We wasn't going to grow. He was going to keep doing the same thing that he had been doing to other women. And, you know, the more, even though that tick for tat shit went on, I got tired of it, because at the end of the day, I just was like, you know what? I'm too awesome for this. This man already done told me I'm a good woman. He said you can cook, you can clean, you got good sex, you did this, you did this. And in my mind, I'm like, ain't them the qualities a man will look for in a woman, but you can't get your shit together? So it's not me, it's you. And it's time for me to remove myself from that situation. And that's what I did. And don't get me wrong, it wasn't something that happened overnight, but it did happen. And that was probably one of the hardest things to get over, because I was just so locked in with him. And I've never been with somebody where I was locked in, meaning that, you know what I'm saying, he could give me advice, and he would listen to my advice, and he would listen to me, and you know what I'm saying, he would just he just was smart as hell, you know what I'm saying. And it's a lot when you find somebody that have a lot of great characteristics, but also have a lot of bad traits with them. And once I cut it off with him, it was good, and we tried to remain friends. But every time, you know what I'm saying, every now and again, we might get together and link up and do some things that we shouldn't be doing. It was a situation that I wasn't proud of, because when I say it got toxic, it really got toxic. I mean, I'm fighting baby mama, and you know what I'm saying, and going to jail, and you know what I'm saying, just doing stuff that took me completely out of my character. And it was crazy, because I knew I was better than that. But at the same time, I had never experienced somebody that can pretty much handle me. And that's basically what it boiled down to. It ain't too many men that can handle a woman that is, and I'm not saying I'm great or I'm something special, but I am special. But I'm not saying that, you know what I'm saying, I'm doing anything any other woman ain't doing. But I know I'm a good woman. And when a man tells you that you're a good woman, but he just don't have the structure or the self-discipline to be the type of man you need, or be a good man for you, it was time for me to chuck them deuces and move on. But like I said, it didn't happen overnight, because the sex is what still drew me there. And like I said, like we was all over the place. It was ridiculous. I'm talking about 3 and 4, 5 times a week, 2 and 3 times a day at work. It was ridiculous, y'all. It was crazy. Yeah, that was just one of those times, the only time that your girl was sprung. Have you ever had a time where you was sprung on some good shit, and you knew that it wasn't good for you, and you knew you needed to cut the shit off, but it was just hard, but you finally found the strength to just cut it off? Now, this my story. I don't give a fuck if you judge me. I could give a fuck. You know, it's over and done with. But again, when you sit back here, you reflect on your life, and you see the mistakes you made, it's cool and therapeutic to talk about it. And that's my story. So let me know. Have y'all ever had a stalker or a situation where you just couldn't let it go, and then you just got to a point where you just had to let it go because it was just too toxic? Let me know in the comments. Talk to you later.